delivering a level of service consistently where there is a consistency in the team that we're working with, and there is a similar mindset. That was critical to us, and redk delivered for us.
So I think a big part of that has been the expertise of redk as a business, and has helped to really get the best out of us to allow us to drive a successful project and transformation for us.
The support that we had from redk to ensure that actually when we went live, that the data migration not only happened in a timely fashion, but also the data that was moved across was as clean as we could get it, and also that there were no errors with the data. It was really quite impressive in terms of what was achieved in a very short space of time. And I have actually recommended redk to various people as well, because I think that from my perspective, the support that they gave me as someone new within the business and working within a global pandemic was absolutely fantastic.
I'm Nigel Ashfield. I'm the founder and managing director of Time Investments. Time Investments is a specialist investment manager that seeks to deliver investments that deliver a consistent return. We focus predominantly on income producing investments. The other theme that we focus on is inflation protection. The underlying assets tend to be deployed into infrastructure, which will comprise a lot of renewable energy assets, a lot of real estate, and lending. As a theme of investments, we try to ensure that the downside risk of investments is mitigated, and that as a consequence, in all markets, we'll be delivering a more consistent investment for our investors. So as good as our service levels have been, what they relied on was a lot of manual interventions. And ultimately what we wanted to do was to bring our technological capabilities up to the 21st century and to go to best in market. And so essentially what we wanted to do was bring our teams customer facing teams closer together through the use of technology, automate a number of processes that were previously run through manual overrides, and in that way supporting our internal teams to help them to deliver best-in-class service to the market. I think it's fair to say the market hadn't noticed that there was a lot of manual workarounds, but it did require an enormous amount of process and overtime for us in order to deliver the level of service that our customers should expect. And what we were seeking to achieve, our objective, was to improve those service levels and not rely so much on manual intervention and people having to work long hours. So ultimately that technological solution has brought the teams together to collaborate in an easier fashion, to deliver a better, ultimately an improved client experience.
What we've been really good at in the past is we have really great people who are really good at managing relationships. And that's meant that we have organically grown our business and organically brought on new clients, built those relationships. And we find ourselves probably sometimes just doing a lot of the same. So what we wanted to be able to do was actually feed into those individuals new opportunities, new leads, new people they could be speaking to. And the CRM system we were using in the past wasn't really fit for purpose in that sense. It didn't interact with our marketing technology and allow us to actually understand our consumers' behaviour. So we were very led on our relationships that the business development team were managing to see who we should be speaking to and how we should be speaking to them. So the big thing for us has been joining that together and then being able to identify new leads, whether that be through events that we're attending, whether that be through marketing campaigns, and allow the business development team to use that data and use those insights to actually build their relationships from. So from a lead generation perspective, that's probably been the big thing for us. Customer service probably spans across both our sales team and also our back office team. So we have different elements of customer service across different teams. The biggest thing we found before this was that we weren't joined up. So there was a lot happening in one team that wasn't known about in the other team. So I think collaboration has been the biggest thing. We've been able to collaborate and work together, and also we now have insights into the other side of the business, and that means that our pre-sales team know what is happening post-sales and vice versa. That sounds really basic because I think when you come into a business you just expect that that's there, but if your current technology, or in our case previous technology, doesn't allow for that, then it's really difficult. So from a customer service perspective, I feel like I would hope our customers can feel that the business is more joined up and know what they want, when they want it, how they want to interact with us, and that, I would say, gives us that position where we can excel in our customer service. This has probably been one of the most exciting bits of the project that we're still going through now, and when I say there's no end point, I just think it's going to continue to evolve as the technology evolves, and in understanding our consumers has been the biggest thing here. So what we've been able to do is allow us to store our understandings of our client base and what they want to hear from us on, what they're interested in, and make sure that when we are sending out our marketing emails, they actually want to receive that marketing email, and it's not just coming across that we are sending them everything and anything that we do. We've grown our product set quite a lot in the last couple of years, so we have a lot to talk about and we want to engage with our clients, we really do. So it's just allowed us to be, I guess, a lot more targeted in our approach, and allowed them, from their perspective, to hopefully hear from us on what they want to hear from us on. And we're still on that journey, so I'm excited about some of the campaigns that we have that are going on at the moment, where we're analysing and looking at the data in a very different way to how we've ever done it before. So I would hope that they will feel like they're hearing from us on what they want to hear from us on. Which sounds really simple, but it's difficult when you've not got the technology to support that.
In delivering this sort of project, there are a large number of people we could have worked with, and as part of the process, we'd already been talking to redk about a slightly different project. What was established from a very early stage was a level of trust, and that trust developed consistently throughout our engagement. And so as soon as that trust was formed at the early stage, we kept building on it, and as redk kept delivering to our expectations, that kept us very engaged. So for us, working with people who share our values and our culture is incredibly important. Delivering a level of service consistently where there is a consistency in the team that we're working with, and there is a similar mindset, that was critical to us, and redk delivered for us.
So we're a relatively small business, so in-house we don't have necessarily the expertise to run a transformation project, and even though I, like others around the business, have an idea of what we want, we don't know exactly what we want. We just have a few ideas of where we want to get to. So it's vital that we partnered with someone, and we knew before we even met redk that we needed to partner with someone that could help us transform our technology, help us on this journey, help us work out how to do it, and exactly what we wanted to do. And I think when we met redk through a different solution that we were looking at, and it wasn't actually Salesforce that we've ended up choosing, that we met them and talked about. And we just clicked. They understood our business. And when I say that, I don't say that term lightly, because we meet a lot of technology providers that come in and try and sell us a technology, all different types of technology. And they don't really understand how we work as a business. They put us into the bracket of every other financial services company out there, which I genuinely believe the way we've built our business is unique and different. So when a company comes in, understands your business and uses that information to scope out what we could do and how we could get there, and gives us ideas of things which we've not even considered or thought about, I think it was inspirational for us at that point. And genuinely, we then decided to work with redk, and they supported us, not just through the project, we're still working with them today, and I think we will be for a long time. I don't see how we'd not work with them now we've implemented the solution. So yeah, it's been vital to the success for us. Because we had an idea of where we wanted to get to, we didn't know exactly what that looked like or how we'd get there. So allowing us to work really closely with a company who have that expertise and have worked on many different projects, have seen what's worked, quite frankly, what's not worked, and also knew how to get the best out of us and how to really push us to our limits, to know what could we do here and how could we do this to get the most out of it, to future-proof it for years to come. So I think a big part of that has been the expertise of redk as a business, and has helped to really get the best out of us to allow us to, drive a successful project and transformation for us. So when I joined the business, the technology that we had in place, our former CRM, worked for where we were at that point, and it allowed us to do the basics, capture the data, use the data in a certain way, and it enabled us to build our client base at that point to where we wanted to go. But looking forward and looking ahead of the next 2, 3, 4 years, what it didn't allow for us was to take that business growth that we wanted to take. So taking a step back, we knew that that wasn't the solution that was going to take our business from here to here. So we knew that we needed to invest now and build a better foundation to allow us to build the business how we wanted to build it. So from my perspective, from a sales perspective, that comes down to using data to drive a salesperson's behaviour. So really thinking about what that data is and how we want to interact with our clients going forward. So that was really why we started the project and why we looked at upgrading as such our current CRM to a new CRM. So I've used a couple of different CRM systems in the past, and I feel like I knew what I wanted out of it. I didn't know exactly, and redk were able to help us really scope out what we wanted and needed. But I had an idea of what I wanted and what we needed as a business at that point. And some of the other CRM systems that we looked at just didn't allow us, for where we want to get to, allow us to scope out and future-proof the solution. And a big thing for me is I don't want to be sat here in 3-4 years' time going through another technology transformation, changing to a different CRM because it's no longer fit for purpose. So the biggest thing was making sure that the one that we selected at that point was not just right for today or tomorrow, but was right for the next 5-10 years and so on for us as a business. And we're hoping to continue to organically grow, so we needed to ensure the infrastructure was there to do that. And Salesforce works perfectly. They are the market leader, I would say, probably not everyone's view, but they are the market leader. They are ahead of thinking about what we need as a business before we've even thought about it. So we're excited to be on that journey with them, and so far so good. The software is a big part of it. However, actually everything around the edges of the software is just as important. And I think about us, our processes in terms of how we were doing things internally with the software we had before, that was just as not fit for purpose as the software itself. So transformation for me is bigger than just the software, and it's about how we adapt as a business, how we build new processes, how we run those processes, how we take that input and drive it to a different output. And I think for us that transformation is much bigger than just the software itself. It's about everything that comes with that.
The key thing for me was that we started the project and immediately went into lockdown. So as a business, we had to adapt very quickly. not just to a big transformation change and IT change, but also adapt to the way that we worked as a business. And I actually think that helped us in many ways, because we were used to making those changes, and I think from an emotional point of view, actually that helped the business with that transformation project.
We're still on the journey. We're not at the end of the journey yet of sort of bringing these technological advancements forward, but we're bang on target, I'd say over target, for where we want to get to as a business, to use technology to deliver on what was great service going to even better. But I think it goes beyond that. It is enabling us to reach markets that we would have struggled to reach just on the basis of our less collaborative work structure, and so technology has really helped the collaboration of the client-facing teams. So the client services teams, the business development team, and indeed the marketing team looking to generate the leads. So as a business, it essentially has probably broadened our horizons. And I think we can't take away from one of the other factors that it has made working lives easier for our great people. And certainly where we've been eradicating manual overrides, technology is helping people to maintain a great work-life balance, where some teams were under incredible strain without the technology that we now almost take for granted so quickly. You've got to start out with a very clear idea of what you want to achieve, what you want your objectives to be, before you start working on your strategy and your plan. So that would be my first advice. Secondly is internal champions. Make sure that you put in place key sponsors within the different teams that are going to be affected. Make sure they're on the journey from the earliest possible stage, and that they're clear on the objectives of the project, and we can sort of demonstrate fantastically. You've already heard from Faye and Adam, who were sort of two of the sort of the core team of sponsors, if you like, project leaders. And what that enabled us to do was to bring the whole organisation on the journey and pick up elements that might not have otherwise been picked up. So that would be my second piece of advice. But I've actually got one more. With this sort of project, you've got to have the right collaboration partner, and we did okay on that too.
I actually had that question recently. So from one of our peers who are looking to go on a similar journey, and I think the biggest bit of advice I could give them is it's a journey. I always say Rome wasn't built in a day, but it is a journey, and it isn't going to happen overnight, but you need to take your team, your staff on that journey with you, as you have a lot of people within the business that will have some really great ideas and input, and if you can get them working in the right way, would that be a consultant or whether you've got your expertise in-house, I think you'll find that you're going to get a much better output. The other thing for me is the data. Love your data, because we could have built an amazing CRM system, which I genuinely believe we have, through Salesforce, and we could have built that system and had absolutely horrendous data, and we would have been in exactly the same position that we were in 3-4 years ago. So we had to go through quite a big restructuring exercise in terms of our data and a very big clean-up before we went through this transformation. And that would be the second thing for me, love your data, because if you're going to put rubbish in, rubbish is coming out. So that would be my two things.